I'm Caroline from 6 Degrees Architects. I was a project lead on Ferrars York, and it is my pleasure to take you through this presentation. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which the project was built, Wurundjeri and Victorian people, and pay my respects to their elders past and present. A quick look at some stats. The client NESD consultant was Hypnosis Height and the builder was Ironside. There's 22 apartments over 6 stories, 45 bike spaces, 21 car spaces with EV charging, and about 175 square meters of retail spaces on ground. The project's located at the corner of Ferrars and York Street in South Melbourne, right next to the market. It's a very long and narrow site adjacent to the light rail. It is north-south oriented, and it's typically the type of site that is underused because they are quite difficult to get to work. It actually provided us with a good opportunity to continue developing the single-loaded cross-ventilated typology that we'd explored on Nightingale 2. Open walkways allow for dual aspects apartments. That means better light and ventilation and great opportunity for incidental interactions between neighbours in an environment quite different from the typical enclosed corridor. We also believe that it's important to provide varied and active skyline and visual connections between the vertical community within the building and the street below. So the rooftop and walkway activity is clearly apparent from the street. The constraints of the site meant that we had to use precast. You can see here the close relationship between the site boundary and the light rail. So we explored different textures, colors, depth and shadows to try and lift the aesthetic and while maintaining budget constraints. It is then softened by the use of timber in strategic location where it could be maintained. So the walkway soffits and all the apartment entry doors and almost all of the windows are timber. And then on the human scale, we try and brought back the steel, tiles and stained glass. Our approach is always to focus on both the journey home for anyone living here as well as for anyone walking by on the street. So at street level, the street wall is carved and textured, the footpath is widened, here is the main entry, and landscaping is introduced. And then throughout the building, we carefully target high moments of detail at key moments. So that's a shot of the open walkway, a typical entry door to an apartment, and the communal rooftop on the top level. Going through the building, starting on ground, there is the retail tenancy at the south, the bike store quite centrally located, the car parking with stackers, and the main entry is through the center of the building. It takes the shape of a break through the facade, with a void going up through all the levels we can see here. On the left-hand side is the stair core that we glazed to try and promote its use over the use of the lift, making it a bit different from the typical enclosed concrete box that we can find in high-rise. 2 shots of the entry, so we can see landscaping being introduced, and then on the right, the opening onto the opposite side of the site, onto the light rail. Going up, there's 5 residential levels, providing variety of apartments ranging from 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. Typically on the south, here in red, is single-level apartments, and on the north are duplexes. So you enter your apartment from the living level, and then you go down to bedroom and bathroom level. Typically, entering the apartment, you walk through the main living space, opening onto the east-facing balcony. All the windows are bink, timber windows, and then we try and make the most of the concrete thermal mass, exposing the concrete. And a few other shots. The interior palette really responds to the exterior, with use of concrete, timber, feature paint and tiles. Typical bathroom on the left. All bathrooms are naturally lit and ventilated, which really assist in amenity. And here 2 shots of the duplexes at the top level get double height over the kitchen and great views onto the city. On the top level, level 5, there's a communal rooftop with shared amenities. It is a beautiful space for residents to gather. The landscape was done by Sim Blaze and it is really thriving. It's been used quite a lot by the residents and you get pretty amazing views onto the city, the market and the neighbourhood generally. The building is an example of best practice in sustainability. It is gas-free, 100% powered by renewable energy. There is external shading to majority of windows that help mitigating direct sunlight. The single loaded typology means that all apartments can get cross ventilation, which in itself really assists. Better amenity.
2 minutes.
The average NatHERS rating achieved is 8.6, lowest only being 7.4. So it is really quite great results that the client, NESD consultant at Hippie Hype, was very happy with. There is solar panels on the roof and ERV system and ceiling fans to all living area. Overall, it was really a great collaboration with Hippie Hype and the builder Ironside. That meant that we could achieve great results and good homes to be built for the residents.